So let's stay there then, because you that doesn't happen, and then more things start to come your way. We get hit with all this, the pandemic. You know what the hell's going to is going to wind up going down, and then Stranger Things arrives. How does that all come to play? Like, do you know? Because and I want to preface this to the audience that's watching this too. If you haven't watched Stranger Things season 4, I got to dive into some spoilers here, so you've been warned. There you go. Because again, I mentioned my 12-year-old. She is obsessed with this show. I'm obsessed with the show, but she just got into it recently, and I told her that I was talking to you, and Jamie, this is the face.
Oh, bless her soul.
She was like, "Are you really?" I was like, and she thought you were coming in. She's like, "Can I come in?" I go, "It's not in the studio, honey." So, but she was, and everybody else who's watching the show so invested. And I'll tell you, and I said this, and you can go back and watch footage of it. Not saying it because you're sitting here. Season 4 is the best season at all of them. It's the best. I love 1, but 4 is the best. And what is it about that character? Because you said some things, man, that in certain interviews that I think you just nailed it, in the way that, like, this guy has just been tortured throughout his life and what he is, and the way that you relate to him, you particularly, is why that character works when you hear you speak about him. So let's dive into this real quick. Let's talk about learning about this role, thinking, okay, this is the way this reads on the page. I really want this role. And now you get it. Tell me about all of it. I got to hear about you and Vecna. Got to hear about it.
Yeah. So it was around Christmas of 2019 before the world exploded.
Yeah.
And I was out here. I was making some music with my brother, and I got a phone call saying Carmen Cuba would like you to tape for Stranger Things. And of course, I said, "Fucking drop everything, let's go." My brother was with me, so we went back to my place in downtown Los Angeles, and I was given sides from Hellraiser and from Primal Fear.
Oh yeah.
Nice. And I'd actually seen Hellraiser before, but as far as I remember, I don't think I'd ever seen Primal Fear at that point, which is a sort of movie lover is sacrilegious to say, but there you go, you get honesty. And so again, I just kind of did my thing with it, and we taped and we sent it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting on a plane for Christmas back home to see my folks. And again, Scott Melrose, who sat with me in this room right here, he's on my right, calls me, and he says they really liked it. Now they want you to try some sides from the show.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we literally get through the door of my parents' house. I'm like, "Hi, yeah, nice to see you again. Bye." Don't fucking talk to me.
I got work to do. Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
And so we taped it, and then of course it's Christmas, and I have no idea who this character is at this point.
Okay.
I figure that I'm a fan of the show, but I figure there's some sort of darkness to this character just through what I'm saying and through what I've been presented, but I don't know the name of the character. The original name of the character on the page, and I think I'm all right to say this now because I'm working on season 5 and I don't think it means anything, was Ashy. We don't know why. We don't know where that came from. It just was a thing. And then, of course, Christmas happens. So everybody is away.
Sure.
Yeah. Everyone's away for a good 3 weeks. Actors we're notoriously bad. I mean, I'm notoriously bad, but I think all actors are pretty notoriously bad at when we don't hear feedback, it hurts.
100%.
Awful, right?
Of course. It's just, what? They didn't like it? It's like, no, the person, they're in the Bahamas right now. They're not thinking about it. Yeah.
There's an amazing guy on Instagram. He's like a comedian kind of dude. And he does this thing where he's pretending he's an actor and he's calling his agent. He's just sort of calling for a chat just to kind of check in. and then he goes, any news? No, I didn't think so. No, that's fine. Which I just can relate to 100%. I've managed to dial that part of me down now, which is good.
And so that's what you were doing during all of Christmas, is trying to just waiting. So it takes you about how long before you find out?
It's about, so the story continues.
Okay.
So it's probably second week of January.
Mm-hmm.
Scott calls me back up and he's like, all right, Duffers now want to meet you. Get back to LA. I was like, all right, I'm on it. Like, we book a plane. I get on the plane. I come back to LA. I've got maybe 3 or 4 days before meeting Matt and Ross. And in this period of time, I'm like, something in me is like, all right, there's more to be had here. There's more to be had. What can I do? So I start printing out pictures. I start printing out all these pictures of the Upside Down, of the characters, the world, and then I start to build on that. I'm like, okay, well, what have I been given? I've been given Hellraiser, I've been given Primal Fear, so I know that there's something going on here. What are the other kind of characters that I like from this world? What can I do here? So I start to build more around that, and eventually, after sort of 2 days, I step back from my wall, and there's this mural of darkness, and I'm like, all right, that feels great. Pull it all off, put it into a folder, jump in a car, go meet Matt and Ross, and I say very little. I say very, very little. By this point, I figure that I figure now, but I didn't know at the time. I figured they had been like, all right, this is our guy. We just kind of need to, want to meet him. I was like, they just want to meet me to make sure that I'm not completely insane. And so I go and I meet with them. And at the end of it, they've been speaking and they go, we'd love to show you something. Can we show you something? I said, absolutely. And they come back with these 3D renderings of Vecna. And they're like, this is who we want you to be. Are you comfortable being in makeup for 8 hours? It's like, yes, of course.
Right.
I'm comfortable being in makeup for 8 hours. And I was like, can I show you something? I pull out my folder, like a kid that's done his homework.
Yeah.
And I start showing them these things. And they're like, have you read the script? I was like, I've literally seen what you've given me, and that's it. And they're like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. So we left the meeting, and then, get a phone call saying it's on, it's game on. And then the pandemic hits. You get to do the read through. You get to do the table read. And I'm sat behind Millie Bobby Brown, and Winona comes up and introduces her. And we do the table read, and Millie's there, and I'm doing the stuff as Henry, and she just turns around and looks at me as I'm doing Henry. And I'm like, there's so much trust here. There's so much love. This kid is so open and so ready to receive. This is going to be absolute fire. I just feel nothing but good shit here. Then the world shuts down. So I have April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months. 7 months, like we all did, of being locked down in our houses. But I knew I had something I was going to. And I was given this blessing of time. And within that, what I did is I just fully submerged myself and immersed myself in Matt and Ross's brain and in their souls, and went back and looked at all of the things that I know the show takes and all of the things that I love as well, and figured, all right, well, what can I pull that I really like? And what do I know that they like? Okay, well, they gave me Hellraiser. All right, well, we love that. What about Freddy Krueger? Oh, yeah, there's a bit of Freddy Krueger there. Or what about, I don't know, Stephen King, just in general? What can we pull from that? And The Thing, so all these great movies. And so we get to October, and we get to do the test. And in this time, I've been able to kind of try on the suit as it's being developed and whatever. Anyway, we get to the test, shooting test in sort of October, November. And I've not done the voice in front of anybody. This is all stuff I've been doing at home. And again, magic moment, right? Just kind of open your mouth and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked.
It did.
And Matt and Ross were ecstatic. And yeah.